how long does canned food last? Now, that's a good question because they said it lasts a while, but just because it says preserve in the can doesn't mean keep it for 100 years. But how long does it last?
Guys, when it comes to long-term food storage, there's a lot of different foods out there, a lot of different options, and you really need to have some variety. But one of the most easy accessed foods is your standard canned food. These, of course, you can walk into any grocery store and a lot of other places and pick these up. And we're going to take a look at how long will food last in one of these cans. Now, probably the most variety would be your canned food. I mean, there's so many different choices. I mean, you can go with your standard vegetables, you can go with fruits,
Vienna sausage.
you can go with
Jesus
even
Christ.
meat products. There's just a lot of different options.
How about tamales in
and
a
to
can?
me, one of the best ways to store up food. This also applies to those large cans. Now, we took a lot of information from the USDA. So this is pretty straight up information. Also the Canned Food Alliance. So I did a lot of research on this because I wanted to make sure that this information was credible. And of course, the first thing I want to address is your date on the can. This says best by December 2022. Now, this is a best buy. That means it's for quality and not safety. The USDA does not require that you have a safety date on here because, guys, honestly, these things are sealed. Now, the best buy date is actually optimal freshness. If something is gone beyond the best buy date, it typically can lose color, it can lose its texture or change texture, and its flavor. Also, it loses some of the nutritional value. So there is a few downsides for keeping this for extended period of time. But according to the USDA, it does not change the safety factor. Typically, they'll say up to 6 years or so, and sometimes in between that. One of the things that's a little different is with acidic type foods like tomatoes, they seem to go bad quicker than your pH balanced foods, like these lima beans. And so you have some things like that to consider, but honestly, from all the information I looked at, it really doesn't matter that much. In fact, they even listed Spam as one of the best because of its balanced pH, if you can stomach it. Now,
oh yeah, that's right. He said it right. If you can stomach it. Hey man, you said the right thing because folks don't fool with that. They don't fool with potted meat. You ain't got that on the list on the thing. But this Vienna sausage, you'll eat it one day and then the next day it's time for something else because you got to see that for 3 days. You're gonna be you're gonna have a long face and a long day. Woo!
This also requires you to keep this in about a 75 or below temperature range. If you have it heated up, typically it'll expand the can, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of times you'll see cans that are puffed up or expand.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. If the can is swollen or it's bloated, that's like eating food or getting food poisoning on purpose. How about that? That's asking for it because your stomach. Oh, trust me, your stomach will be cursing you out. It'll be tearing you a new one.
And it are swollen.
Joke, boy.
Now that's a big no-no. So you don't want to make sure the cans that are swollen, that's a no-go. Cans that are dented slightly are okay. Once you open it, you smell it. It seems like it's fine. Then you'll be good. And one of the things about these, take a look at a can inside for a second. But the food never touches the actual metal of the can. There's actually a liner on the inside to keep a barrier between the two. Now these cans are hermetically sealed. And so there's a heat process, and with time, it's extremely sanitary conditions when they can these, and it's under pressure. So there's nothing that's going to be able to grow inside the can. It is completely sealed. And so this can is going to last. I mean, this food, there is no way to get oxygen to it or to get any kind of bacteria or anything like that into the can. One of the things is botulism. That's definitely food poisoning that can kill you. But there is not a big concern with your canned food. It's more toward your canning, your home canning. Sometimes that can happen. But botulism is possible. But with commercially canned food, it's very rare. In fact, you should always smell the contents of your can. As long as it smells good and it looks good, you should be good to go. But like they say, when in doubt, throw it out. Of course, obviously, we have the pull-top cans. Those seem to be getting more popular, but then you have your standard cans.
This guy, that was a good one though. He said, when in doubt, throw it out. Like what the other guy said on the spelling bee. When in doubt, sound it out. Know about that? No, but seriously, yeah, you don't be like that guy on Cobra Kai. What's his name's daddy? He said, he said you're eating bad food, boy. I remember that. That was crazy. Yeah, he said when in doubt, throw it out. But yeah, you know, if something smells bad, it's got to get the hell out of here. So don't play that. That's messing with rotten food. Now, what the hell? What the hell? What the Sam hell?
So you want to make sure that you have a standard can opener, a manual can opener, to go with these. You may have an electric can opener you've been using and it's doing great, but if for some reason you don't have electricity, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And so being able to open these up. Another thing that I want to mention is to have variety. Now we have some Vienna sausages here. We've been eating these for years, and these are really easy and quick. And then we have some chunk chicken. These tamales actually are some of our favorites. I know that seems a little gross, but these are really good.
It's in the can. What are you doing? Come on, it's in the can. What you? Oh boy, tamales in the can. I don't remember seeing those. They ain't trying to see them, but they got some of everything now. They probably been had that, but still, man.
Other type meats that you can also store, and then you have your standard vegetables. And all the different brands.
Green Giant,
you can really
of course,
make
Del Monte,
a
of course.
large variety using canned food. And then, of course, with your peaches and your pears and different things like that with the fruit. And here we have diced tomatoes, and this is great for cooking. So, you can use
everybody got them in the
cans
cabinet
for different cooking
somewhere.
things. But
there's like 100 cans in
the
the
big
back there.
thing here is that this food will last. And really what they say is, honestly, with conditions right, they will last forever. Now, one of the problems is when you get rust on a can, because these are metal. Sometimes the rust can weaken the metal. Sometimes it allows for bacteria to seep in.
Yeah.
So if you have rust on the can, go ahead and toss those out, because there is a possibility. But again, if it's dented, as long as
what about it's not canned, it's plastic. Peanut butter, and then there's peanut butter in the peanut butter in jelly in the glass container. You have peanut butter and jelly, or peanut butter and jelly mixed together. You know what I'm talking about. And there's the peanut butter by itself. You all know the peanut butter and the peanut kind, and then the one without the peanut. Like people they hate the peanuts or like the juice. Like the guy got hot. He pissed off. He's like, I said the one with some pulp, not the pulp. That pulp is, oh hell, ugh. Ooh.
It doesn't break the seal
Yeah.
lining on the inside of the can. You should be good to go.
What about peanut butter?
Guys, if your can looks kind of like this, you probably don't want to eat off of it. But this is not a can that we're holding food in. If it looks like this, you're in good shape. And then if you have this little pull top, you're in great shape because you don't have to have a can opener.
Yeah, that's the best
So we have some pears here. We're going to just go ahead and open them up.
The pull top is perfect.
This is a great seal around here. We have a lip. We're going to go ahead and just pour these out. Man, that's going to be good. The guys inside here, there is a little bit of a coating. You can't really feel it. It does feel like metal, but they do have that coating in there just to keep it from touching the food to the metal surface. And again, these have been sterilized, they've been cleaned. Really, there's a low chance already of any kind of bacteria being in it in the first place. And then with the pressure and heat that goes into canning these, guys, it's really safe. And that's one of the great things about the USDA. I mean, they are making sure that these companies are up to par. And that way you can rely on it. One thing that I will say, though, especially with older cans, is that the metal, sometimes there's not a seal, and the food can taste a little metallic. But overall, it should still be safe to eat. I mean, guys, if there's nothing else, you're going to not care. At least I won't. Also, with a can, you can eat right out of the can. I made a good choice. Better than those diced tomatoes, for sure.
Yeah, nobody want that. Nobody want that.
I was looking forward to this. Now I know why. Now to maintain freshness, it's best to rotate your food. And there are actually some systems out there that are slanted and the cans come down to the front. Use those first, and then you replenish them through the back. And that seems to be
one thing you don't want to eat is 2 and 3 days. You probably don't want to eat it one damn days and he ain't got it out there. That's chicken. That's not tuna. You don't want them damn tuna and cold beans. Woo, that is frustrating. You'll get your ass back in that bed and go to sleep or something. Those damn beans. Oh boy.
Great way. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and we'll do that for sure. Especially now that this virus thing has been going around here in 2020. So we definitely are more thinking about preparedness because of
this video is pretty old. It's something I wanted to see. I was like, how long does canned food truly last? Forget about the expiration. Forget about the date thing. Does it last more than 1 day or more than 1 day? More than 1 year? Because if I say if it's a year old, that's not too bad. But if it's 3-4 years old, I'm not eating that. So hey, that's up to you. You eat it. You go ahead.
But again, guys, that's mainly toward freshness and not safety. So if you find cans in the back of your closet, don't necessarily toss them out as long as they're in a good controlled environment and they're not damaged. That is wasting food. It's something that you could possibly use later on down the road. It's really funny because a couple of years ago, I found a big container that we had a bunch of canned food in, and it was around probably 2005 when we started storing those. So these cans were 15 years old. I thought we still had them, but I think my wife just tossed them out. The labels were starting to wear off,
they're old, man.
The edges, and I think we just figured at that time that they could possibly be bad. Honestly, I really wanted to keep them because I thought, you know what, if we don't have any food, I at least will have that as a backup. In fact, I was hoping to find it and open one up and eat them while we were here, but that just didn't happen. But honestly, guys, stocking up your pantry with canned food like this is a smart way to go. And again, you will lose some of the taste, some of the texture. You could possibly lose some of the flavor, also nutritional value. But to me, even if this has half the nutritional value, it's still half, and it's better than nothing. And who hasn't seen a post-apocalyptic movie where they're eating out of old cans they found in various places? So guys, when it comes to that canned food,
nothing.
Indefinite shelf life pretty much, unless the can's damaged. Open it up, smell it. If it has a bad odor to it, then toss it. If it's dented or rusted or it's swollen, throw it away.
Yeah, that's
if
garbage.
In doubt, throw it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, enjoy your food. Guys, if you're working on a plan to be more prepared, there's no better resource than the Survival Dispatch Insider. They use some of the top names in the survival world that come together and put out some plans that are unsurpassed by anybody else. And this is credible information. We upload one video that's exclusive to the Insider every week. So I'll have a link down below in the description. I think it's well worth checking out. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I know, like I said, a year old. That's not some people don't trust that either. But now, like I said, if that can's 5 years old, I don't know. You can keep it if you want. 'Cause he said 2015. That's what 6-7 years ago. That's garbage. Or as Chef would say, that's garbage. What the hell are you trying to do? You trying to kill people? That's garbage. He said he yelled at that girl so bad. Woo! He said, "What the hell are you doing? You're gonna kill people." I turned around like, "What the hell? What the fuck's going on here?" You could hear him yelling halfway down the hall. He did not play when it came to this cleaning business. Because I guess she put too much Drano in the whatever she put it in. Well, yeah. He didn't. I know, but the peanut butter, because peanut butter is not a can. That's it's like a can size, but it's a plastic little jar. So no, that's not sealed. I don't think peanut butter is sealed like a can now, because that's got that little piece of paper. Then it's got the cap over it. So I guess that's another video. But yeah, so like I said, 5, 6 years old. I don't even know if you want to keep the can if it's 2 years old, but eating that in no 6, 7 year old canned food. Know about asking for the poison. I don't know about that. Know about that. You do it if you wanna.